when we understood the fundamental architecture of our universe, we reached a point where we can begin a journey to recreate the entire universe. So in that process, as I moved on, I came across a few questions, a lot of questions actually, which is well known in today's world, about its happening, but not the reasons, not the questions which I asked. So I went ahead, studied, practiced, and understood a lot. So then there was this question about charges. What are charges? We'll come back to that. For now, coming back to our fundamental architecture of the universe as from our previous video. When energy was condensed to a point, a region in space, there was a particle, real particle, which was excited and created. This particle, as I told about, being particle form, probability cloud, being localized, interacting on its own as an existence of that universe. Yeah, it all makes sense. There was some anomaly actually. When this condensing was done in a lab, each kind was studied for how much it can be studied. Then it was seen that there were many kinds of excitations, different kinds of particles. When I say different, there needs to be a criteria. For example, if I hold two balls, one red and one green, how do I tell they are different? One is red, one is green. Particles, how can we say this particle is different and that one is different? Just energy excitation, okay, it could be like how the value of energy excited for that particle, whatever the case. I consider the same value for all particles. That is how it is created. That is the fundamental energy threshold. Okay, it crossed, it created. Now how will you differ? So basically there are a few properties for each particle. As it exists in this universe, it acts in a way. Each particle, as I said, interacts with the universe as a localized existence, entity. It acts differently. So what we did was, since we give labels and names to understand which is our human nature, we give identifier. A particular name was given. It was grouped. Particles which showed same kind of properties were grouped, saying that these were excited like this and those like that. But let's come to this and that now. So what happened was, we observed that these particles, these excited energy entities, they had this ability to communicate with other fields. When I say communicate with other fields, I came to this term, field. First I said there was just an open energy field which the universe is made of. What are these fields, plural, which I am coming to? That is exactly the point here. We at first did not, there were no separate fields actually at the beginning. But when we observed how everything is happening and we performed experiments, we saw that particles acted differently, as I said. When we grouped them, their excitation, when I say they were excited this way, we named that all these kind of particles were excited by this field, and I gave a name to that field. It's the same energy field which the entire universe is made of, but something is different here. So I gave a field, I named it as a field. This field has something different in it from the other parts, which is making the particles being excited like this to be different, to be unique. As such, I got many kinds of fields. and each one I named. For example, I have a particle electron. Now, just think about it. I have an electron, I have a proton. Okay, proton is made of subatomic particle. Let's not go there. Okay, quark. Electron, quark. These are two particles. At first, when I told these two, you also visualize like two different kinds of particles. But then we come back to the same question. How do you differ between these two? Which I told when I said about properties. That's the reason we name this electron, we name this quark, and we say they are different. Electron has a certain properties, quarks have a certain properties. But the property, when we come there are different kinds for different fields. So let's take an electron. An electron is an excitation of an energy field which we have named as electron field. Alright, electron is an excitation of the electron field. This excitation of the electron field, remember to visualize in 3D, not 2D, because that does not help. Okay, it's an excitation of electron field. What are its properties? We don't know why or how these properties are held by electron field, but they do. We just know it. We don't know why or how. It has the ability to communicate, manipulate, or couple with photon fields and Higgs field. These are two names of two different fields. When I say photon fields, it's already evident that it is the field where light particles, photons or light waves exist. When I come to Higgs field, Higgs is actually the name of a great scientist of his era who he explained the phenomena of mass. It is the interaction with Higgs field that real particles have mass. It creates restrictions. Every single particle that interacts with the Higgs field has mass. Alright, we have Higgs field, we have photon field, which electron field couples to and acts. This is the ability. When I come to quark's field, it has little bit difference. Quark's field can communicate with gluon field and Higgs field and a few other. Gluon field ability was not there for electrons. Just for a note, gluons are also another kind of particles which are excitation of its own gluon field. So the picture is a particle of a particular field can communicate with the other field. Communicate in the sense it can even manipulate the other field to act in its way. So while understanding, I gave my own identifier. I called this phenomena as ability factors. Electron, which is a excitation of electron field, has the ability factor to couple with photon field and Higgs field. Quarks, which are excitation of quark fields, have the ability factor to couple with gluon field, mass, and Higgs field, and a few others. So now we are done with that. Now the interesting point comes. I have an electron. This has the ability to couple with the photon field, as I said earlier. How much ability a particular particle, any particle, has to couple with particularly photon field is what we call charge. Charge is not a physical thing. It's this ability. How much ability? This is the exact reason we have the quantization of charges. An electron is the fundamental subatomic particle which comes into existence, like it's a particle that has come into existence after a threshold, and being a fundamental subatomic particle, nothing can have smaller ability than this to be real, because this is a real particle. Otherwise it would be virtual or something. So we say electron is the least. This electron has the ability to couple with photon field to a certain degree. To a certain degree in the sense, how much ability to couple, that is charge for us. So we call electron also as a charge, since it's an intrinsic property that it can communicate and it will communicate with the photon field and act. So we got to know what a charge is now. Similarly, there is another fascinating thing about particularly electron. It has another ability factor called spin factor. Now comes the fascinating thing. Spin factor of an electron, it is also linked to the photon field. It's like I have something to do. I have to lift my left hand. In how many ways can you lift your left hand? One way. This electron has two ability factors to link to the same photon field in different ways. One way is the charge, which I said the ability. It manipulates in like when I say in different ways, it manipulates in different ways. The charge property, it's something like push or pull enough. That's it. It just acts out or acts inwards. There is a force in or out. Spin property, in the other hand, it warps the photon field. It warps on itself. When I say warps, the photon field, whatever it is made of, or the fundamental of the photon field, there is warping in it. So this also helps in understanding the two aspects which we are always concerned about, electrical and magnetic aspects. The spin property, charge property, has this ability manipulates the photon field in one way. Let's call it charge way. Okay, charge way. When I manipulate the photon field with the charge way, and this manipulation does something, that observation is an electrical observation, electrical aspect observation. When I manipulate the photon field in a spin way, that acts in its own way, and the observation which we get is the magnetic aspect observation. Now we got to know the two ability factors of an electron linking to the same photon field. This is exactly the point we required. Okay, let's keep the electron aside for a moment. This is a huge revelation for now. Photon field, as we already know, is light. We were told it's an electromagnetic wave. It's an electromagnetic entity. Alright, we had a doubt that how, what, electric field, magnetic field, how, everything, right? So then, basically, when I see a field, energy field, the universe, when I explained in the previous video, it had virtual particles and all. When I say photon field can have its own virtual particles. So like they are virtual photons now. So photon field is a field where virtual photons and real photons can both excite and exist. It's not like there is a separate region where photons only exist. It's the same energy field as I said earlier. But we know already that it's a classification we have done. So these virtual photons are the force carriers. So let's get back to this electron. When this electron manipulates in the charge way, it's actually manipulating or creating new virtual photons on the photon field to act in a way. So basically, this electron has the ability to communicate with the photon field. It creates virtual photons to act in a way. It creates in a way, which was the charge way, which we named earlier. And the spin property, it warps the photon field. When I say warps, although I don't know exactly how, because I did not find it anywhere, it just warps the field with the virtual photons to create something like a warped region of energy and virtual photons. So then, after I merged these two aspects, I learned that it creates just a photon. That's just it. Now we know that about photoelectric effect and stuff. It's like when I accelerate an electron or give extra energy to it, and it excites and it releases energy. Yeah, it releases its charge way and the spin way. Both the ways were already communicating with the photon field because the electron exists. So when it releases extra energy, both these ways come together. Then it creates a photon. This coming together